podcasting is the top marketing tool of 2024. You get paid from YouTube.
Yep.
You get paid from the business you get from that attention.
Once you start thinking like that, like your whole reality changes.
Studio 30X Unplugged Convos.
We're not recording. This is not part of the podcast.
This is definitely part of the podcast. I have the video.
Welcome back to Unplugged Convos. This is episode number 13.
I'm Cam.
And I'm Chase.
And we about to get into something today.
I don't even know what we about to get into.
What were we talking about right before this, though?
We were talking about a lot of shit, to be honest.
So
which part?
Frustration.
I feel like the best sign about frustrations is that you're doing something right.
You are exactly correct.
I think it would be wrong if you were going through life without frustrations.
Right, because it shows that you have people relying on you and like pushing you, or you have certain situations that matter.
Right.
You know?
And I think it's more so about like you as a person pushing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because it's very easy to get comfortable and to try to avoid frustrations, but I just think a majority of frustrations are a good sign that you're improving.
Yes, that
personally.
You're going through growth.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because, I mean, we both got our frustrations, for sure.
Right. And then we also have our connected frustrations through trying to run a business. But that comes back to the stereotypical, like, if you're trying something that is great, that it's going to come with hardships. You know, everyone knows that.
Absolutely. There's no wins without hard practices.
Right. I just think that is a misinterpreted message because a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm willing to put up with those hardships. But when it really comes down to it, those hardships would make someone tap out very quickly. And that's why most people don't make it, is what I think.
Yeah, there is a very misconstrued message that it's almost easy to make it, or not make it, just be approved by the masses.
And I think that is making it. I think making it has a misconception in just that phrase, whole making it.
Right.
You know,
it's so misconstrued. Like even my perception of what I just said, like approved by the masses. Like, what do you consider the masses? Like,
exactly.
Some of the masses could be your family or could be your friends, but like, I don't know, that has so many different definitions.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like once you're putting yourself out there to be judged by the mass majority of people, you're very vulnerable. And it's really just, I think the biggest thing I'm saying is yin and yang. Like, that's the most simple way to put it. It's the more vulnerable you are, the more you put yourself out there, the more negative things you can take, the more positive comes with it. That's with anything. It's, you have to work so hard till you get to the point where you have so many frustrations and so many obstacles, problems, issues to come over that once you get over them, you realize that those problems are very minuscule based off what you were previously thinking. One way or
your
another.
previous problems in general.
Exactly.
That's where the growth comes in, because you can start to see where your problems that you think are huge, like you said, they're not so big compared to what you used to have.
Right.
You know?
And that's such a great overall lesson in every single way.
That can relate
Have
to
you heard
everything. This saying, if your whole family threw all their problems in a pile, you'd take yours and run.
100%. I've heard that. Yeah.
But that's so true, though, because you don't know what other people are going on, even within your own family. Even me and you, we have stuff that we probably don't talk about.
Right.
Like, I know there's stuff that we probably don't talk about.
Yeah.
But it's the fact of recognizing what's there and what's not.
Right. And also even recognizing that there is more underlying problems. You know, I feel like that's rare.
Where more problems come up.
Right.
Yeah, because you start seeing these things.
Well, I'm saying just to get over the problems. Like what you just said, you said, and there probably even is more things that we haven't talked about. Mm-hmm. And I think realizing that part of it is important. Realizing that you haven't talked about everything with your friends that you're going through, let alone dealt with them yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's big facts.
Right.
Big facts.
And that is a major part of everyone's life, is the things they hide. That Numbers book I'm reading was talking about cubes. And it was talking about how cubes are the perfect shape because they're eight squares. And it's an infinite cycle of squares, basically. Just like a sphere is an infinite cycle of circles.
Right.
And this is basis. This is off of my memory of the book I was reading. This isn't any facts or anything. But you know what also cubes is salt. And salt is a very basic necessity of life.
Yeah, true.
And even back in the day, warriors used to get paid in salt instead of money because it was valuable to places that didn't produce much salt because it's a very basic necessity. So if you have a lack of salt, it's going to be very valuable when it's a necessity.
Right, yeah, supply and demand.
Right. And salt is cubed. Like salt forms in crystals and the crystals get cubed.
Form, like down at the molecular level.
Exactly. And that the book I was reading related that to humans because the most pure basic expression of humans is a transparent cube. So it was relating it to salt. It probably put it a lot better than I just did.
Huh.
But look into, if anyone's watching this.
Where it was at?
It was pretty recent in there. It'll probably take a second to find it though. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
This book is just full of...
Bro, I love that book so much. And you want to know something that kind of...
that book's crazy.
Something that kind of got me on that book was... So, the author's name is Dusty, I think.
Dusty Bunker.
And...
Dusty Bunker.
And I bought the book thinking it was a male author.
Oh, okay.
And it ended up being a female author who very strongly, I would say, has the opinion of... A lot of about the book is about how people used to worship a goddess instead of a god.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
And then it got to the point where the males of the world took over and they started portraying women as devils and women as
just
evil.
Lesser in general, probably.
But it was because those males... it's just like a reflection of themselves, you know? They weren't getting the attention, and then when they did get the attention, it was false attention, and they related that to, and that is why, like, Christian religions nowadays say you shouldn't have sex till you get married. Mm-hmm. Some religions say that you shouldn't have sex at all, and it all talks about that was based off the fact that men couldn't control their urges for women. They had feelings that, and you know, like, we're men. We both know how that goes. Like, you have feelings of attraction towards women.
Right, but that's almost like a double standard. Like, why would... I don't know. Why would they put that on men if they can't put that back on women at the same... Like, with the same... precedence, you know?
Right. And that's kind of exactly what I'm saying is it started out back in the day, people worshipped women because women could reproduce life. Right. Women could carry that inside of them. So that's the God they worship. They worshipped a goddess. Mm-hmm. And I say that's the God they worship because of new stereotypical ideas that have been implemented into me. Because when I think of just the singular thought of a god. Just me right here. I said God, not goddess.
Exactly.
Back in the day, it used to be goddess. And then men interrupted that timeline because
they had their own agenda.
right, and it came from a place of insecurity, and I think what I'm saying is I thought it was a male author, ended up being a female author, and it has changed the way I think about a lot of stuff.
Wow.
But I love the book. I got the book because I was born at 333, and I'm a big fan of numerology. Like, numerology is a big part of my life, but that book has took it to the next level. It's talked about dream interpretation and how
Really?
numbers align with your dreams and how certain things in your dreams mean to you. And the main point,
dude, I need to read it then. I've always looked at it, like every time I've came over here, I'm like, I'm about to snatch that, I'm about to snatch that, about to snatch that.
show it to the camera so they can. I definitely advise everyone to read this book.
Numerology, Astrology, and Dreams by Dusty Bunker.
It's a great book. And especially if you're into numerology, I feel like numerology is becoming more and more common every single day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, synchronicities are becoming noticed more and more because they're becoming brought to our attention.
Right.
And everyone thinks, like, obviously they do hold meaning. Like, anything means just as much as you believe it. But
Right.
that doesn't also negate the fact that a lot more people are talking about it.
Right. Because then that brings it back to the most basic points of it. Like, what actually means anything? And then it's like, it literally is what you give meaning to. And something I've realized from reading that book, I've always paid attention to numbers. I've always seen the synchronicities because I was born at 333, and I led myself to believe that was a very important part of life.
It led into your subconscious.
Right. But even more so, after I've read that book that has detailed the description of numerology, I've noticed it that much more. So that's exactly what you're saying, is the more you give something meaning, the more it reoccurringly happens in your life. The more you notice it, the more it is.
Right. That's anything in life. Like, anything you give your attention to is going to start. You're going to see the problems. You're going to see the goods. You're going to see the in-betweens.
Right. It's all about what you give meaning to.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
For real.
That's a bar right there.
And I think clip that. But I think that is why we've been seeing positives with our journey, with our aspirations, is we've gave so much meaning to seeing those positives that we sacrifice so many things.
You know, it's
along the
crazy.
way.
You're talking about this, like, just seeing things that were already there that you just hadn't noticed because you weren't paying attention. I was watching my phone today at some point, and there's this TikTok of this dude, and he said, like, just a generic prayer about opening your eyes to the things in front of you that are unseen but are very noticeable. So that comes back to problems or, like, your life in general, because as soon as you start to open them eyes up a little bit, you'll see opportunities, you'll see relationships, you'll see all the doors. It's just, you gotta step back and realize that they're actually there already.
Right. And the opposite side to that is closing your eyes off to it and seeing yourself in a loop, a repetitive system of negatives. And you don't even know why, but it's because you won't open your eyes to the negatives.
Even we probably have problems with that, because
everybody does. I know that.
I mean, yeah, I know I do too.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something I accept. I think that is a powerful thing, to accept the fact that there is, every time in anyone's life, negatives. There is stuff that you're closing your eyes to that you should be facing head on. Every single person has something along those lines. 100%.
I definitely agree there.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the battle, is once you accept it, once you realize that I'm always going to have something that I'm closing my eyes towards, that's when you can truly get over it, when you can truly heal, when you can truly become better. Because you know that there's room for improvement.
You see the room to improve.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, everyone knows that deep down, but not everyone accepts it, I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's almost so obvious that people just don't. Like, it probably doesn't click with most people.
Right.
Damn, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That just, like, blew my mind a little bit just talking to you. Holy shit.
That's the great thing about these podcasts, is we both have that happen to us throughout the whole thing. This will be a good time to let you guys know we're producing podcasts for any brand or business. Studio 13X, the #1 podcast production company in the USA. It's all right. We'll clip you out drinking your alcohol.
I know. I realized that as soon as I picked it up. But yes, we're producing podcasts, highest quality, highest sound resolution, as little time as possible.
And it's going to be a good time, as you can see.
Obviously, I'm kidding about the little time as possible. You didn't catch that. No.
But I mean, I thought you were talking literal terms.
Oh, little turnover time.
Literal terms, not little turnover.
I'm thinking in, like, once we
But
get into that, though, it will be little turnover times.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Like,
pumping shit out.
It will be little turnover times. Like, y'all can go as long as you want with the conversation, but
Right, yeah.
for you to get that edited video back, it will be a little turnover time for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. But yeah, Studio 13X, we've got a membership program for podcast production. It's a consistent service of us, like he said, shooting the video, editing the audio, editing the video, doing anything you could possibly need, thumbnails, titles, all that. It's a great opportunity. We've seen so much growth just from starting our podcast, of us sitting here having this conversation that we're having right now.
Exactly. And we have honestly been able to branch out and get more collaboration than any time before, I feel like. And once you start working with other people, it's just a matter of time before word of mouth just spreads like wildfire. And that's what I feel like is happening, because we're booked up all the way through through February. And we had 6 guests so far, 7 guests. Right.
And that is why I've been promoting that podcasting is the top marketing tool of 2024. I don't think it's utilized enough. I think it's an untapped market. And I'm saying that knowing that podcasting is very popular. But I think for certain people, for the local town business, it's an untapped market.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in the last year, we've seen probably 40,000 eyes on just me and Trev in the last year.
Right.
And that, I mean, 1% rule, that's 400 people. If we were trying to sell something, we would have probably 400 buying customers out of those 4,000 eyes. Not necessarily out of those eyes. It really comes down to followers. That's where you would use the 1% rule. But still, even a percentage of the 1%, like, give us 4 paying customers. That's
right. And I think the biggest opportunity of it all is it could become its own entity. Your podcast could be the thing you start focusing on more than anything, because you get paid from YouTube. You get paid from the business you get from that attention. And we haven't even started getting paid from YouTube, and we've seen probably 400 to 500% increase in our profits since we started this podcast.
Yes, we absolutely have grown substantially.
Right. Granted, it's not 100% from the podcast. We've been obviously exploring
Right.
other ways to market our business. But the podcast, I think, has been the heart of it all. I really do.
Yeah, it ties everything back together, because if you want to see what we've been through in the last year and a half, you can go back through all of these videos and just see where we were at mentally and where we're at now.
Right.
And it's
Yeah. I mean, this is the first one me and you have done just us in, what,
long
3,
time.
4, 5 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Probably, was it before Christmas? I think it was.
Yeah, I
before
don't think
Christmas.
we've done one, me and you, in 2024.
No, we haven't.
This is the first one.
That's crazy to think
But
about.
just sitting here having this conversation, it feels different than the first ones.
Yeah.
And I think that came bigly isn't a word. That's why I stuttered. I knew bigly wasn't a word. It came mostly from us looking at ourselves having the podcast and analyzing our communication skills with each other. Just personally, not like telling ourselves.
I feel like it was so much more complex than that, though.
But it was also way more simpler than that. Because it was just us recording us having a conversation, sitting down and both watching it.
Right.
But the more complex part comes from us truly taking it in and truly being like, what words can we say less to make it better? What questions can we ask more to make it better?
Exactly.
How can we put our emotions out there to make it more and there's a whole lot of analytics to it, but when it comes down to it, where anyone could start is recording yourself having a conversation. That's
With
truly,
anyone.
right?
With anyone.
With any mic, with any phone. You could record it simply on your phone with no mic. On your phone, you could
You
record
don't have
it.
to be like the YouTubers and the TikTokers. You don't have to go out in public and interview random strangers. You can go in your living room, sit down and talk about a topic. Even if you're by yourself, you can sit down and talk about a topic that is near and dear to your heart. And you don't have to post it. You don't have to do anything with it. Just
Exactly.
watch it. Just watch it. That's all we're asking.
And do that 20 times and tell me you don't have the biggest urge to post one of those 20. You will. And you will feel so rewarded by doing it consistently.
Yes.
The part where you don't feel rewarded is when you only do it for a few times. You take one negative feeling about it and you quit.
Or you take one negative comment or one negative piece of feedback.
Well, that's what I mean. One negative feeling from a negative comment or a negative piece of feedback. Because it even could be you negatively feeling yourself, oh, that doesn't look good. We do
True.
that every video.
Oh, yeah.
We do that
Yeah.
every single new piece of thing we make. But post it. You don't have to post it. That's the beauty of it. That's the beautiful thing is you don't have to.
Or even if you post it and then second guess, you can delete it.
Right.
That's
But you
another
should
thing.
be posting it and leaving it up. I truly believe you should be. I think that is the best case scenario. If you do it 20 times we haven't even hit 20. This is 18 right here. If you do it 20 times in a row, and we already feel the benefits. So if you hit that 20 mark and there isn't something good that comes out of that, you can hit me up and I'll give you $1,000 if you can convince me that you didn't have something good come out of that.
You gotta pitch us, but
Right. You're going to have to actually convince me that you shot 20 podcasts that were at
and
least...
you're gonna have to have receipts too.
Right. There have to be at least 20 minutes long. 20 podcasts at 20 minutes long. And if you didn't gain some sort of benefit out of that, I will give you $1,000 myself personally if you convince me that you didn't get anything out of that.
Right. I don't think it's happening.
It's a 0% chance. That's why I'm offering that. I have $3 in my bank account. But I would be good for it. If you actually convince me, I'll be honest about it too.
Yeah.
If you convince me that you shot, that's what it's impossible. I'm sitting here thinking like there is no way.
There's no way you didn't turn
wouldn't-
on an extra light, or you didn't mess with the sound a little bit, or you didn't make an extra cut at the beginning to take out your your shit that
Right.
you don't want. Like,
Or just personally, you didn't get a little bit more comfortable talking to people in public.
exactly.
That's how
or your
I feel
filler words went down.
And that comes with the same thing, like talking to people in public.
Sorry, we screaming now.
We excited because that is a big thing. I have major anxiety, and this podcast, I really feel like I'm so calm talking to people in public. Just because I've seen myself have a conversation time and time again on video. I've edited it. I've watched it a million times.
Hours of this.
Right. And
Hours
it's like,
of it.
there's some parts where I cringe, but then I realize the parts that I cringe. And I'm like, I don't want to do that as much. So over the next 3 months, me knowing I don't want to do that as much plays into who I'm going to be 3 months later. And all of a sudden, I'm not doing it as much.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is, as we work through all these problems and like all these mental tasks and all these conversations, we actually become those fucking people, bro.
Exactly.
We become those people that are well versed in their language, well versed in the music field, well versed in the video field, well versed in whatever the fuck we got to talk about, because we know where to look, we know where to go, we've been there before, and we're gonna do it again.
Right. And that 100% comes from us being consistent. That's the only play. If we would have done 3 of these and been like, I don't know, maybe, we would have never known what we know right now. You have to be consistent to the point where it's crazy. Where it's like, why the fuck are they posting again? They got 2 likes on their video yesterday. Why they post the same type of video the next? Because we learning.
Not only that, it's like there's not an obligation, but there is definitely a necessity in my like the chemicals in my brain.
Psyche.
Not even that. It's just like the endorphins in my brain have to, like,
I think that's
I
the
have
same
to
thing,
do
no?
certain things to feel fulfilled, and that's one of the things. If I don't post for a week, I do not feel good.
Right.
And I don't know why. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a box of metal in our hands that we think is our entire lives. And I agree, it's important. It's very important. But
see, I think that part comes from... See, it's hard to talk about the future because that is the most unknown. But I like to think that those thoughts come from my future self being like, if you don't do this, you're fucking up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I mean?
almost like if you do it, you will have something later on. But if you don't, it doesn't make sense. First of all, why you wouldn't.
Right. But it's like, if you do it, you have a chance of something later on. If you don't do it, you have 0 chance. So
exactly, yeah.
That's about the basics.
You take all your opportunity off the table as soon as you don't try.
Right. You have 0. And it's the same thing as the cliche saying, like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know?
Okay, Michael.
Michael Jordan.
Isn't that who said that?
Probably not.
Dude, I could have swore my 5th grade teacher had that on the wall with MJ floating. And
I'm going to have to look it up.
I'm pretty sure it was Michael.
See, Michael would make the most sense, but that's almost why I don't think it was Michael.
But see, then also I saw it as like a drinking meme as well.
Wayne Gretzky. See, that's why it was not Michael. Michael Jordan was just the most famous basketball player.
He probably said it, and they were like, "All right, clip
Right.
it."
Yeah. They said clip it. All of a sudden it's a Michael Jordan quote. But for real, you really do. I mean, it is true. Down to the most basic principle. It's literally true.
I'm trying to think of. I'm having a brain fart.
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps. You know what's crazy? He got disowned by the public for smoking weed.
You do miss 100% of the oceans you don't swim. No, I do remember that actually.
Him getting like blasted by the media.
That was simply for weed.
Uh-huh.
Was it really?
Well, and you know what's even crazier? Usain Bolt backed him up and was like, I smoke weed.
Was that really over weed?
Yeah, I swear.
Cause like
He lost brand deals, I think.
And I remember it being a big deal. I don't remember it being over simply weed. I don't remember what it was over at all. So.
Right, that's a whole different life away. I don't know if I could be mistaken, but I'm almost positive. There was big controversy.
See, we need someone on our team to be looking this shit up as we fucking talk.
I know.
Bro, I look up, why did Michael Phelps? And it says, these are the recommendations that Google gave me. Why did Michael Phelps retire? Why did Michael Phelps start swimming? Why did Michael Phelps throw out the first pitch? And then it gets funny. Why did Michael Phelps eat so much? Like, what? Why did Michael Phelps' parents divorce?
What?
Like, goddamn. Whose record did Michael Phelps break? Oh, I thought that last one said, why did Michael Phelps break? What was I even looking up?
Why he like fell off or like why he got...
Have controversy. Phelps became embroiled in controversy in 2009 after it emerged he had been seen. Yep, it's weed.
Yep.
Straight up, just simply fucking marijuana. That's crazy. Cause bro, I remember that was a big deal. That's why it's so crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that, bro, the craziest part is I knew as a young kid who had smoked weed in my early days of high school, I 100% knew it was wrong for that to be just straight up banned like it was.
Right,
and
yeah,
such a bad thing.
For all the repercussions for it.
Exactly.
They were not valid.
It didn't add up.
It didn't.
And I knew that, and I got in trouble in high school. I got suspended from sports for marijuana, for an issue with marijuana.
I did too.
And that was like my life was sports. And I think about that a lot. And I also think about that in a positive way because I knew marijuana had a different idea in everyone's mind than it should.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought in my mind that sports was my life.
Right. It made you a little bit harder.
Right.
Like, it toughened you up a little bit once you got in trouble, didn't it?
But not only that, it helped me focus on music because I had to take that time away from sports. And now, me as a 25-year-old adult, I play men's league at the rec center and I miss half the games. Like, that shit don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the shit that matters is the business we're running that involves music and videos, and that it gave me that time to focus on music. And now me as a grown adult, weed's not only legal here, but I'm also making music. So it's like, bro,
so you're in that space where it's there.
It happened. I didn't like it at the time. I hated it. I thought I was going through the worst shit ever, but me looking back,
like thought the world was ending,
and it was a blessing the whole time, a complete blessing.
Oh, I feel that. The biggest blessings are disguised as disturbances.
And that's a good thing to think about right now in this moment, relating all that to it.
Nah, I think whenever I got in trouble, it just made me a little bit... Like, it made me hard, bro. Because the people that I actually trusted that in that instance where I thought they had my back, no one had my back. It came down to, like, me in my room facing those demons by myself. It's like, I can't go anywhere. I didn't have a phone. Obviously, my parents were strict as hell. high school, yeah, you get caught, you're getting suspended for games, like for basketball, and like everyone knows you, and that's the craziest thing. And then people start looking at you different, and then you gotta try not to act crazy because they're looking at you crazy, and it's so tough. It was so tough for me as a child, but now I do realize that yes, it was a blessing. It was one of the biggest blessings is failing, because
100%.
I think that was the thing that I realized from failing over and over and over again, like legal trouble, is that all those instances were learning curves or learning lessons that I needed. I truly, truly needed.
Right. And I think the reason I said I wanted to relate that to the moment we're in now is because I needed to remember that. Like, because as much as you think whatever you're going through is so hard, it is all learning. It is all a lesson. And if you don't take it like that, you will be stuck in a loop. And that we do take it like that. I think that is one of our biggest advantages is even if we are in the loop, we tell each other, hey, I'm in this loop, man.
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
What do I have to do?
Right. I know in my heart I want to get through this. I want to get over it. I want to come out on the bigger side. I truly think we are both going to look up in 5 years from now. And
be astonished.
We are going to be, damn, I wake up and I'm not sad. You know what I mean? I know that. And I think there's different ways to handle it. You can either pick to not be sad halfway through your life by putting everything off and then being sad later. Right. Or you can do what we're doing, and we are...
Pick it up right where it lies.
We're putting ourselves through it. We tell ourselves, hey, you ain't doing this right. And we accept it, and we battle with it, and we tell each other about it. Like, I think the best advice I could give to anyone watching this podcast is find someone that you can truly be like that with.
True. Yeah. You have to be able to be straight up, or else it's not going to work.
Right. And the biggest person is yourself to be like that with.
Yeah, that is crazy. Because I was about to go into like relationships. Like if you got a girlfriend, boyfriend, you're not telling them there's some gates that are put up in every relationship. Even us.
Us doing this podcast.
Right.
We know there's a camera on us and we know we got microphones. We try to be vulnerable. But there's that part that you literally cannot control of yourself that blocks certain things off. Even makes you think for 0.1 millisecond more of what you're going to say next. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy because once you start thinking like that, it changes. Like your whole reality changes.
Yeah. And I even thought about that. I was shooting a video with Sienna when she was here. And I noticed my 2-year-old daughter, once she knew that we were recording, it was different. I swear, I noticed it was different than just me and her being a part of it. Right. And I know for a fact she doesn't understand the whole concept of it, but it was like, she was like, why are we recording this, Dad? Like, what is... And just that thought changed the scene. So it's like, you have to battle so much. I just think it's so positive to get that scene on recording that you want to be able to not think about it. You want to be able to not think a single thought about... We want to be able to sit here and have a conversation like we would if this light wasn't in our fucking eyes.
Right.
And knowing we're holding a microphone. Yeah. We want to be in that situation. That's the battle. Is getting to that point even when we do have this.
Yeah, it's definitely a battle. But I think we're gonna get there because we're getting better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
And same with every aspect in our lives, even if it's a percentage of 1% that we're getting better in each of these aspects. Whether you spend 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds on it a day, you're still getting better.
Right. And I think the bigger picture is we can make someone better watching this. If we can get into that state of vulnerability and forgetting the cameras on us, forgetting the microphones on us, that's when we can truly change someone's life that's watching this. And
Right.
this is a general term of it all. It's me thinking that you guys could change someone's life just like we can from having...
Yeah.
We literally set up the camera, recorded the microphones, and we were like, let's have a conversation. That's what it takes.
Yeah, that's all it is. All you got to do is just jump in.
And keep going.
The water's fine. But for real, you seen that? Like, I ain't going in. It's too cold in there. No, the water's fine in here. We good.
Right.
And we gonna be good. But I agree with everything that we just said. Life is...
He said, I agree with us.
Nah, life is complex, bro. Life is so complex. And you don't realize a lot of shit before it's too late, you know? So,
Mhm.
and we're making those changes. We're making the positivity wave, and it's coming.
Right. And we would love for you guys to be a part of it. If anyone is interested in being a guest on our podcast, we do these every Monday. We usually start from 5 to 7 p.m. Anywhere in that range is our start time. And we've been loving doing this. We love bringing light to anyone that's passionate about what they're doing around the Effingham area.
Yep.
And I say around the Effingham area loosely. It can be as long as y'all want.
Yeah. Yeah, we even just had a concept of doing remote podcasts too. So if you are an artist or a content creator, a TikToker, if you have a business, or if anything,
It
you
could
can
be anything. If you are someone who doodles on homework and you want to tell us about your doodles on your homework,
we could probably find a date for you.
if you're passionate about it.
But eventually these dates are going to be getting filled. So
I mean, they already are.
yeah, they're already filled. So if I'm thinking like summer already.
I mean, we're in summer. We've got
Right.
February all booked up. I think mid-March is where we're at. So it's getting
Right.
close.
Yeah, and it's just going to keep growing and growing. So it's first come, first serve right now, but that process is definitely going to change.
Right. And we probably will try to start doing them more than once a week. So a possibility is we get some openings because we start doing them more consistently.
Right.
But at the same time, the once a week has been working for us. So
Right. And we have been kind of busy with the studio as well.
right, and it could get busy in a different realm and we go down to once every 2 weeks. So it could go either way. But we would love to have y'all be a part of this. Like, you guys are why we keep doing this. Everyone that tells us they love watching it, they've listened to it, they put it on the background while they were cleaning their house.
Yep, or working out or at work or whatever. It means the world to us.
It does.
That's why we do it. It's also for our personal development, but the main underlier is everyone else that builds from it or feels what we're actually saying, you know?
I think the most genuine part about what we have going on is we truly want to make the world a better place. That's the basis of everything we do.
Our conversation today was how can we help the youth? And we already have a few kids. I mean, they're out of high school, but they're definitely younger than us.
They aren't out of high school.
They're not?
The oldest one is 18.
So yeah, we're already helping the kids of Effingham tap into their creativity and musical powers. So if you're someone who aspires to be an artist and you think, "Oh, I'm too young for this." There's no age limit on any of this.
If you have any discrepancies if you have any reasons that you're not starting towards the path that you're passionate about, please message us because it's not even we want the business. You could be recording by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Message us and tell us why you haven't been posting every week.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just ask us for help with how you can post every week.
Right.
There's-
or getting the confidence to want to post.
Exactly.
You know? It's
Yes.
I don't know. It's deep, bro. It goes
And
there's
it's
so many
hard.
levels.
Like, we understand how hard it is,
Mm-hmm.
but we also understand how good it makes you feel when you are consistent with it. And we understand
when you actually do it and you get that one person that says, "Oh, this is really good." That's all that matters.
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. I don't know if that's like feeding into my ego or what, but it's shit. It makes you feel good doing what you love and other people respecting it and getting something from it.
Right. I mean, the best feeling in the world is giving.
True.
Whether or not it fills into your ego, whatever it is, you're not only helping someone else out, but it's the best feeling in the world is giving. Is being
Yeah.
able to provide, it's all
True.
that. That is
Yeah.
the best. There's no comparison to being able to make someone else's life better. That's the best feeling in the world. 100%.
Mic drop.
We do appreciate y'all tuning in. My name's Trace.
I'm Cam. This is Convos Unplugged.
Episode number 13.
Lucky number 13.
Whoop whoop.
This is Studio 13X.
On God.
Email us.
Studio 13.
Instagram us. As my mom would say, Facebook us.